Hello, lovely moms. I'm Claire, and welcome back to the final video in the series of Satya. If you've been following along, then we've already explored truthfulness into our heart and body. And today I want to start exploring how to apply Satya in our real lives, especially when it comes to boundaries. Let's be honest, as mums, we're generally taught to put everyone else above ourselves. But when we say yes to everyone and everything, we end up feeling resentful, depleted, and completely disconnected from who we are. So, in this video, I want to show you that setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about treating yourself with kindness, caring for yourself so that you can show up with more presence and love. I find the connection between the mind and body so fascinating. I mean, it makes so much sense that everything in our body is holistically connected, but it's so rarely spoken about. For instance, with stress, often it can be due to suppressed anger or generally suppressed emotions, right? And we may find that we have or hold a lot of the tension in our shoulders. And there's actually a biological reason for it. It's because our breathing, when we're stressed, naturally becomes shallower and faster. And without that deep breath, it doesn't lower the diaphragm down. So everything, all the energy is kept up here in the chest area and naturally shrugs up to the shoulders, right? So when you're feeling stressed, you can probably feel all that tension living in your body around here. What's really important is that we speak our truth because these suppressed emotions, and particularly suppressed anger, which I think is so relatable for so many mums, myself including, this suppressed anger leads to the stress in the body, which therefore leads to our breathing become shallower, therefore not letting our diaphragm go down and not helping to detoxify and cleanse the liver, which leads to a whole wealth of problems all throughout the body. Okay, so it just brings it back to the importance of A, speaking our truth, and B, breath work, which I think yoga supports us so much with both. Let's start at the root, right? Let's start with that suppressed anger. The way we can help to support this is through the principle of Satya and by speaking our truth. We can ensure that our emotions leave the body and therefore the stress isn't held in the body. So, I want to share with you a 4-step framework to help you gently set those boundaries. Okay, so the first step is just to check in. Yeah, it's just to pause and to think, what do I honestly need right now? And that's going to be different for all of us because we are all our own unique individual human beings. But just giving yourself the space is the first key step. The second step I want you to do is to name it with kindness. So that means using I, really framing it on something that's related to you and that's your own personal need. So that can be, I need a break. I need help. I need to sleep. I need a shower. I need a cup of tea. Whatever it is for you in that moment, naming it with kindness. The third step is to communicate it clearly. Now, I appreciate not all of us are going to have someone to communicate it to. If you do, then fantastic. Communicate it clearly without blaming or shaming the other person. If you don't have someone to communicate it clearly to, say it out loud. Once the words leave your body, they become real. So once you say it out loud, I'm tired, it's validation. You're validating your needs, you're validating your feelings, and you're going to be more accepting of yourself. The final step is to release and reset. So that means taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling everything out through the mouth. That can mean shaking it off, shaking out your hands, shaking out your body, moving that energy around your body, letting everything release so that you can reset. Because it's really normal when we start speaking up and putting these really mini boundaries in place. When we start honoring our needs, it's going to feel uncomfortable because we're not used to it. We may even feel guilty. We might blame ourselves for being selfish. None of this is true. It's just the voice that's telling you in your head. But we need to acknowledge it, okay? There's no point just pushing it away because it's going to be there. We need to acknowledge it. So by shaking off, breathing into it allows us to process these feelings, these emotions that come up. Another great way is also to say out loud, I forgive myself for needing this. Yeah, it may sound silly because it might just be a cup of tea, it might be a hot shower, whatever it is. But if it brings up those feelings of guilt, of shame, then acknowledge them and say, I forgive myself for needing this. Yeah, having that dialogue, that connection with your mind and with your body allows our nervous system to go into safety, to feel safe. Okay, you're literally communicating to your body that it's safe, that it's okay, that you understand why you're feeling this way and you're going to look after it. And if you're feeling guilty for saying no or for putting this boundary in place, you're not alone. Okay, I feel a lot of guilt a lot of the time from conditioning, from my childhood, etc., etc. But it's something we can work with, okay? Guilt is a sign that something is changing, that you're making a change, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's not a bad thing, okay? We can work with the guilt. We just have to honor it and be compassionate towards it. And it's the most beautiful lesson that you can teach your child, to honor your own truth. Okay, we want our children to reflect the actions that we do. So by taking this action for yourself is such a beautiful gift for them. As I said before, I suffer with guilt. I suffer with putting these little boundaries in. I often solo parent, and full respect to all those full-time solo parents out there because it is an intense job. And there's times where I have the dishes piled in the sink, the floor is a complete mess from all the toys and everything, and my to-do list for work is endless. And in those times, previously, maybe I would have pushed through. Maybe I would have said, okay, I have to have the perfect house, the perfect plan, the perfect organization. Everything has to be sorted. But the other night, for example, I looked at everything that was around and I said, you know what, it's fine. It doesn't matter if it stays there for one night and I wake up in the morning and it's still there. It doesn't reflect on who I am or how I am as a mother or how I am as a woman, right? And actually the kindest thing that I could do to myself to honor my truth was to rest. So I walked away from the mess. I walked downstairs. I came into my room. I did 10 minutes of yin yoga and I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning feeling so much better than if I had pushed myself through to make sure everything was organized. It's a practice and it's work. You have to embrace it. Some days it's going to be easy and some days it's not, but it's okay. It means that you're leading to a bigger change. And every time I put in a small boundary, I have more presence, I am calmer, and I find more joy in my day-to-day life. And don't we all want that? So if you're ready to take this practice a little bit deeper, then I invite you to join my free day mum reset. It's a super gentle, supportive experience designed to refill your own cup, reconnect with yourself, and be able to practice these tools in real life. On the first day, you'll get a beautiful meditation just to give you that space to connect back to who you really are. The second day, you'll have a mindful movement, gentle yoga flow that you can do at any time of the day, just to start moving that energy through your body. And the final one is a reflection, reflecting on how you have been as a mother and releasing all of those feelings of guilt and shame. You can find the link to sign up in the description below. Thank you for being here, for honoring your truth, and for being part of this community. Remember, you are enough. Your needs matter, and your truth is a gift. I hope to see you in the 3-day mum reset. Take care. Bye.